Jorbit is a guy that plays his tail off. Like he's a hard-nosed player. And
here we go. Jorbit Vivas, who's the 68th best player on this fucking team, he's sticking up for. Like, Boone, throw him under the bus. None of the fan base give a shit. You actually might get some brownie points if you start throwing this guy under the bus because it's his fucking fault. If he was hustling to begin with, Aaron Boone, he wouldn't have been in that situation. But since you run the ship, everybody at summer break, it's lackadaisical bullshit. That's why Vivas didn't make it to third, Boone, because he didn't hustle. You don't instill hustle. You don't instill grit. You don't instill determination in your players. The guy in the booth with Michael K tonight does that more in his sleep than you do right here in this interview.
It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports Talk for sports nuts.
Welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. And let me know in the comments below, do you think the Yankees lost this game before it even started tonight? Ian Hamilton, the opener for the New York Yankees after the 5-day layoff after the All-Star break. You're telling me the New York Yankees couldn't figure out who was going to pitch tonight? This just shows the organization is lost. Or Aaron Boone forgot how to coach. You bring in theoretically one of the worst relievers that we do have on the Yankees when Scott Efros is available, who has been a starter in his career. But no, you put one of the worst relievers that we have in Ian Hamilton in the game, and guess what happens? He does what Ian Hamilton does, gives up 3 runs in the first inning. And if you remember, I said here on New York Minute, that's NEWYRKMIN on Instagram, I've said to you before, the Yankees went wrong when they burned their bullpen out against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Yankees went wrong when they burned their bullpen out in L.A. against the Dodgers, and you see how long they've been suffering for that, and the Yankees are playing with fire right now, folks. With getting cute with the opener tonight, they burned into their bullpen. Tomorrow's Warren, the next day is Stroman. And I'll tell you this, if they don't have decent outings, the bullpen is going to be spent. It's going to be reeling, which is already hurt and reeling, going into one of the most important series of the season, the Toronto Blue Jays. And since they cut down on divisional games now in the AL East, we're not going to see them a lot. So the Yankees need to do damage now, and especially against a reeling Braves team this year. They made them look like Cy Young. They made Acuna Jr. look like goddamn Nolan Ryan with that arm from right field, and that brings me to Jorbit Vivas. What are you doing? Does this team not know how to run the goddamn bases? Since the World Series last year, it's the same goddamn shit. I know Acuna made a good goddamn play, but guess what? Jorbit Vivas' eye isn't on the right fielder. Jorbit Vivas didn't hustle. Jorbit Vivas did not turn his head and look at the third base coach to tell him to hurry it up or see what the play is. Look at this. That is Bush League, Little League bullshit. And guess what Boone's first thing to do starting the inning? He doesn't bench Jorbit Vivas. He puts him right back out there. Don't worry, Jorbit. It happens to the best of us. Guess what? Well, no, it doesn't. And this is starting to be reminiscent of I'm starting to love the laundry. I've always loved the laundry more than the players. And I think that the Yankees are just going to do what the Yankees do every year. But guess what? This team's not good. And when you mess with the lineup like the Yankees have done, when you take Jason Dominguez, you take him out of the leadoff spot, you put him in the 5-hole, and you put Trent Grisham in the leadoff spot. Enough of Trent Grisham. He's not going to be here next year. He's making $5 million. Do you want to play Jason Dominguez, who's a 22-year-old stud, or do you want to play Trent, I'm too cool for school, lackadaisical, senioritis, playing center field with a bad hammy? And guess what? His best days have passed him by, folks. And if I seem a little adamant tonight, it's because of Aaron Boone. And if you want to see me get nuts, go on to Instagram. That's NEWYRKMIN. And also, let me know in the comments below, did you think this game was lost even before it started? Because I'm done. I'm starting to get done with this team. I'm starting to see the fact that I don't like this team. This game was over before it started, and we knew when we saw it when Ian Hamilton. Then this team is killing it offensively, even though they lost the series against the Cubs, killing it offensively. They take Jason Dominguez out of the leadoff. It was Jason, it was Bellinger, and it was Aaron Judge in the 1-2-3, and they trip over themselves. They go through, they bend over backwards. They jump through flaming hoops to get Trent Grisham in this goddamn game. Are they raising his trade stock? Because that's the only thing that can make sense to me, is that they're playing him to raise his trade stock because he's not the future, he's not the present, and he's lackadaisical. And Jason Dominguez should be getting those reps. And if Spencer Jones isn't used in a deal, they should bring his ass up from AAA, let him play center, and go Jason. We go Spencer Jones, Aaron Judge, and Belly can play first base because Paul Goldschmidt's on a Greyhound out of fucking town. So this upset me. Obviously, you can see that. Because I waited all day to watch this goddamn game, and it's like they gave up before they do it. You knew what was going to happen. It didn't have to have the Jorbit Vivas play, but that was just icing on the cake. So you burn into your bullpen. You try the opener. You know, I know there's so many games in baseball, man, but you got to make a statement. There's such a thing as a statement in baseball, and it's the first game after a goddamn all-star break, and you guys are acting like you're still at the fucking club. Wake up, Yankees. Wake up, Aaron Boone. Everyone thinks that Brian Cashman's going to be making these wheel and deal deals. No one wants to deal with him anyway. My question to you guys in the comments section, do the players that we have on this roster as is this a championship team? Because I don't think it is. We're going to try to go over to Aaron Boone's press conference. It hasn't dropped yet. I'm refreshing the page now because I have to hear what Aaron Boone's excuse is tonight. And you know what? It's got to be coming from Brian Cashman. The lineup has to be coming from Brian Cashman. The batting order has to be coming from Brian Cashman because I can't see how Aaron Boone, being a baseball guy for this fucking long, can sit there with a smile on his face and put this goddamn roster out and put this lineup out and do what he does and let Jorbit Vivas not be reprimanded in the dugout. I don't care if you're the cool dad. I don't care if you're a Cali guy and you're laid back. Get in somebody's ass, please. Reprimand somebody, please. It's getting to be tiresome. And everybody in the comments, everybody in the likes, everybody in the DMs on New York Minute on Instagram was telling me the same shit. It's just not me that's fed up with this nonsense. And everyone keeps acting like, hey, we can do a bullpen game. Guess what? You can't. We're in second place, 3.5 games away from Toronto. They're not good. And why did Marcus Stroman not take the ball tonight? This guy's getting paid $18.8 million. He should be selling hot dogs in between innings. Marcus Stroman, why didn't you pitch today? Pitch tonight, get a win. We put Warren out there, and then the third game that we don't need to win a series, we could do the bullpen. We rest the team going into Toronto. But you can't help anybody. And I'm putting this on Marcus Stroman. You suck. You're one of the worst acquisitions the Yankees have ever had. You're getting paid more than the highest paid player in all of baseball. So when you need to take the rock, nope. When you need to start opening day, nope. Marcus Stroman ain't there. Marcus Stroman cares about Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman cares more about his head tattoos than he cares about his ERA. Do you know what Marcus Stroman's numbers are in his last 3 starts? In 13 innings, he's got 3 strikeouts. He's got an ERA of 4, and teams are hitting a batting average of .310 against him. So, Marcus, where were you tonight? It's not like you're on a set schedule of rest. We know your ass didn't make it to the All-Star game. So why couldn't you get pushed ahead tonight and make the start for the New York Yankees? They're almost giving you $20 million to do nothing. To sit there and get tatted up and get hurt. And to get lit up like a Christmas tree. I don't know. I just can't. I'm waiting for this Aaron Boone press conference to come out. Well, this should be interesting. Let's go live to the Aaron Boone post-game press conference. My questions are, you had 4 days to figure out the starting pitching situation. Why did you use Ian Hamilton? Why didn't you bench Jorbit Vivas after messing up? And why did you flip-flop Trent Grisham and Jason Dominguez in the lineup? I want to hear those 4 things, or are you going to watch me blow my top?
To crawl out of, just what were you seeing from Hamilton in that first inning?
Yeah, I mean, Profar jumps him right away and rolls a single, which is fine, but just, a little bit not the best of command there. And against going through, obviously, the meat of the part of the order, Olsen gets the ball down the line. And then was the bloop by Acuna there.
Aaron, early hole there for the offense to try to crawl out of. Just what were you seeing from Hamilton in that first inning?
Yeah, I mean, Profar jumps him right away and rolls a single, which is fine, but just, a little bit not the best of command there. And against going through, obviously, the meat of the part of the order, Olsen gets the ball down the line. And then was the bloop by Acuna there. He's able to get out of it, but
so the question is, why not use Scott Efros, who's actually had starting pitching experience, when you put in Ian Hamilton, who looks like the dude from Hitman, the video game, and is in the weight room too much, gets hurt, and hasn't had anything on his fastball or any movement on his pitches in the last month and a half. It's like they omitted this game. It's like they're giving it up. I don't understand. It makes no sense.
Just stuff was fine, just not enough quality strikes against especially a couple of their good hitters.
On the other side, offense not getting much going there, obviously, against Strider. Just what was he doing that made him so effective?
Yeah, I mean, he got us to swing and miss some. Obviously he's got good stuff. I actually thought as the game unfolded, we had a number of quality at bats. Like, I thought Grish had a lot of good at bats. Belly just missed.
I think Trent Grisham had a lot at bats. Aaron Boone, you should be fired. Trent Grisham had a lot of good at-bats. The only reason he's saying that is because he put him in the leadoff spot instead of Jason Dominguez. He is going out of his way to say this guy's doing well. Trent Grisham's numbers have come down to earth since his hot start, and everyone says it's his hamstring. And if you're hurt, don't play.
To the ball, Jazz just missed a couple. So they're intermittent, some quality at bats, but he also had the swing and miss going, and then we're kind of chasing and in a little bit of a hole, and then just couldn't ultimately get that big one to get us back into it.
You had opportunity there in that third inning with Aaron Judge on deck. What was Vivas thinking in that situation? It looked like Rojas was trying to tell him to get down.
Yeah, got deked. I mean, that's can't happen. Just can't happen. That said, I did that all my career at third base, where you're just kind of play dumb, like dead. And he read the body. Obviously, he knew it was a deep fly ball, so I think it caught him up. But Louis telling him to kind of get down, and then at the end, just trying to hold the bag. But he and Vivas hurt him too. But the body language of Alvarez there just.
See, we don't need a 3-minute explanation why Vivas did what he did, okay? Because he didn't have his head in the game. That's the answer. Because it was a bonehead play. Simple as that. Ring him up, Boone. Hold him accountable.
Deked him, but it's not something that can happen. Jorbit is a guy that plays his tail off. Like he's a hard-nosed player. And
here we go. Jorbit Vivas, who's the 68th best player on this fucking team, he's sticking up for. Like, Boone, throw him under the bus. None of the fan base give a shit. You actually might get some brownie points if you start throwing this guy under the bus, because it's his fucking fault. If he was hustling to begin with, Aaron Boone, he wouldn't have been in that situation. But since you run the ship, everybody at summer break, it's lackadaisical bullshit. That's why Vivas didn't make it to third, Boone, because he didn't hustle. You don't instill hustle. You don't instill grit. You don't instill determination in your players. The guy in the booth with Michael K tonight does that more in his sleep than you do right here in this interview. I've had enough of this fucking guy. I stick up for him. I go to bat for this guy, and I'm the asshole.
And he got caught up there, and just obviously a situation that can't happen.
Aaron, what do you say to him after a situation like that? I mean, he obviously knows he makes a mistake.
It can't happen, and you can never let that happen again. That said, we've probably all been in a position where, you've gotten deked really well by a base you're reading, but it's also a lesson of that can't happen to you on the base.
9-26 when scoring 3 or fewer runs. That means they don't know how to move over players. They don't know how to sack fly. They don't know how to tag up. They don't know how to run bases, and it's because of this guy.
Baseball field.
Dude, they had 4 days to figure this out. They had the whole All-Star break to figure out tonight's game. And I know it's just one game, and don't get too crazy, but I'm getting crazy, and it's one game.
Especially in that situation.
I just what you thought of the team's base running overall this year. I know that was a point of
Yeah.
Overall base running
Mixed.
this year.
Some really good. Obviously, I think we're a much more athletic group, so we're able to, and are taking more extra bases and things like that.
They haven't improved on the base pads, and he's just going to sit here and lie to me. I'm not going to want this
have the ability to steal some bases. We've gotten thrown out a few times in a row to lower our percentage, but in non-3-2 counts, we've been pretty solid at the base stealing front. And we have
in non-3-2 counts when there's a full moon on a Tuesday and there's 2-for-1 drinks at Mulcahy's, we're really good base stealers. This is how Aaron Boone packages together statistics.
Guys that are capable of. So it's a point of emphasis for us, and we're going to continue to lean in it. And it's an area we got to keep getting better at.
Is it right in front of us?
Seventh inning where you guys managed to get some runs with the Giancarlo Stanton pinch hit. You went out there after that.
Also, why wasn't Giancarlo Stanton just in the lineup tonight? Why did he have to pinch hit? He had 4 days off. He's not rested after 4 days? I mean, why couldn't he have DH'd?
What were you talking to the umpires about? On the Wells.
That's when Wells got hit by she doesn't even know what she's talking about. This organization's got it set up its ass. All right, well, I'm done with the lies. So let me know what you think in the comments below of Aaron Boone's press conference that we just saw. Okay? Did you get any answers? Did you get any closure? I don't think so. Well, I'm done with Aaron Boone, but the problem is that the Yankee franchise is not, folks. But guess what isn't done? New York Minute on Instagram, NEWYRKMIN, and right here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, guys. And if you like the rest of our stuff, check out the end cards. And remember, if you can't be good, be bad, baby. Bye.